All right, guys, let's begin. So, listen, if you missed Inspire, don't worry. I'm going to catch you up on the entire event in way less than 15 minutes. I started Inspire, guys, with talking about that there's four seasons that I see loan officers in right now. So, as I go through these, if you are not at Inspire, try to identify what season you're in. There are some people that are in growth mode right now. They're excited about the business, they're full of energy. They love serving their clients right now. Their business is growing nicely from last year, and they have a really positive outlook on both the opportunities in our business and the promise of our business and what they can create in this business. The next stage that I see people in right now is where somebody's been in a growth stage for a good bit and they're starting to grow into almost past their current capacity. Okay. There's been some that have been in a growth mode for a while now, and they want help stabilizing their business with systems, which we help them out with, and then hiring teammates so that they can go back to a growth mode as well. There are some LOs that are currently in a transitional phase. Okay, what I mean by a transitional phase is they're in the process of changing companies or they have some maybe like a major life event going on. They're in some flux of a transition. And then the majority of the loan officers that I see right now are in what I would call a stagnant phase. These LOs are they're waiting. They're waiting for something on the outside to improve. They're waiting for the rates to improve. They're waiting for inventory to improve. They're waiting for the election to be over. They're waiting for uh, just buyer sentiment to change. They're just kind of waiting things out. But the real danger is if you stay in this phase for any kind of time, you can see that it actually ends in death of your business. These people that are in stagnant mode, the energy that I would say that they're in is they're sluggish, they're down. And then the worst that I see people in stagnant age, the absolute worst is when you're in your head asking yourself, what's wrong with me? Analyzing things, overthinking things. All of those are really bad. So what I set out to do at Inspire, and I'm setting out to do if you weren't at Inspire too, it doesn't matter. I want to make sure that everybody is either into a growth mode right now or stabilizing that growth mode. Um, and so the way to do that on a broad perspective is to reinvent yourself, whether it's reinventing yourself, whether it's reinventing your mindset, whether it's reinventing your actions, whether it's reinventing your habits. That's what I'm asking everybody to do right now as we're ending October. We have 2 more months left of this year. If you can do the opposite of what everybody is about to do, everybody like next week or whenever the time changes and it gets colder, people start mailing it in. They start eating a bunch. They start, they start just saying, hey, listen, I'll get back to it after the holidays. If you can do the opposite, if you can start to reinvent yourself right now, you are going to have a really good 2025 year. The definition of reinvent is the action or the process through which something is changed so much that it appears to be entirely new. That's what I'm asking. If anybody's in a stagnant phase or even a transition phase, is go through the process right now. What was so cool to see at Inspire is that on Tuesday, we did a happy hour before the event started. And I could see that the last couple of years, and even this current little rate spike that we've gone through, had really wreaked havoc on the confidence levels. It had wreaked havoc on the mindset levels. But this is what I can tell you. By the end of the event, people were inspired again. They were falling back in love with the business. They were laughing. They were having fun. And it ended up being one of the most impactful. It probably was the most impactful live event that I've ever did because it was almost collectively everybody had to reinvent themselves over the 2 days and then get back into a good place. And it was so cool to see. It was unbelievable. What we did there. So then you go, well, what did you do over those 2 days? Like, I want to get some of that too. Well, what we did there is we just worked through a workbook. I wrote a book about 5 years ago. It's called Living the Inspired Life. From what I understand is that we've sent everybody one of these. So you're you either gotten it or you're in the process of getting it. And if you can start just reading through the book now, we're going to do a bunch in coaching in the next 3 weeks, I would say. But if you can start and specifically start getting your mind right, because if you get your mind right, everything else is going to start to fall into place. Let me give you an example of what I mean by getting your mind right. What I heard from so many people on Tuesday is they were telling stories, uh, and the stories they were telling were true to them. So it wasn't like they were making up stories, but they were the way that they were speaking, the way that they were talking, they were saying things like, this market's terrible, the business is terrible, nobody's buying, nobody's moving in my market. They literally say these exact words. Everybody's waiting until after the election, really like definitive statements. And I saw people, this is the most dangerous part, and it's dangerous just in your daily lives, is then I saw people trying to enroll people into those stories too. Like, right? Nobody's buying in your market either, right? And everybody was trying to get people like enrolled into a story that actually made them feel terrible. Okay. So if you're telling, hey, listen, business sucks for you, and every loan app that I take is crappy credit right now, you're going to feel depressed. Those thoughts are going to make you feel depressed. They're going to make you feel down. And worse, it'll keep you stagnant. There's no way you're going to go out and do the system and bring in business if that's the stories that you're telling. What's the point, Deryck? Everybody in my database has a 2.875, right? There's no way that you can attract business from that place. It's back to that green red speech. When you feel bad, you're in red. And if you're in red, you're actually repelling people from your business and your stories will come true. Does that make sense, everybody? It's deep, but the stories that you tell will come true. So even if it feels true to you, that's not a reason to be thinking that story or be telling that story to anybody. Let me give you a much better story that is absolutely true that I did see almost everybody started to adopt by the end of the event. Another true story is there are 8 people that need my help next month in my market, and it's my job to go find them. 2025 is going to be a really good year if I start now. I'm alive inside and I'm full of energy. There are people that need my help, and it's my job to go find them. I would put that into Think Up right now. And if you don't, write it down and make sure, because it takes time to start changing your stories that you're telling yourself. So you can say to me like, dude, is that even really true though? Like, are you just making up stuff? I'm like, I'm not just making up stuff. I tried to show this graph. So for anybody that wasn't inspired when this graph didn't come through, here's what I was talking about there is if you look over to the left, on 2018, rates were 4.51. And the way that the MBA measures application is they put it into an index. And so the application index was at 293. Look what happened they don't have October's numbers yet, but these were September numbers. Look at what happened in September. Rates went to the low sixes. Applications were higher than they were in 2018, even going into the low sixes. Does everybody see that? And nobody in 2018 and you can look all the way through 2018 and even into 2019, nobody was telling stories that this is an awful market and everything's terrible. There is absolutely, you can tell really good true stories right now. There's a lot of people that need your help right now, and it's your job to find them. And so what I'm asking everybody to do right now is dedicating the next 2 months to help building you the habits that will guarantee that you have an outstanding year in 2025. This thing isn't working. One of the most impactful statements that you can write down and keep for yourselves and it is in the workbook, is a guaranteed success principle is what's most important is not the results that you have right now. So you can say to me, dude, I only got like 1 or 2 loans in my pipeline. Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear your dumb stuff about mindset. I get you. Just what's most important is not the results that you have right now. It's that you have the habits that will guarantee the results over time. So what I'm asking everybody to do right now is build the habit of having an awesome mindset, telling the stories that'll empower you, that'll put you in green, that'll attract business to you. And then from that place, go out and just simply do the system. Have what amounts to 8 conversations a week, 1 social post, and videos for your system. That's all I'm asking. What I can say is if you can do those 2 things, if you have a mindset that's excited and attracting business right now, and you can have 8 conversations a week, every single one of you guys is going to have an amazing 2025. Okay. You'll develop back into that growth mindset again. You'll step back into the powerful self that you are. There was a lot. That's what I saw a lot. Like on Tuesday, there wasn't a lot of power coming from people. There wasn't a lot of confidence. But literally by Thursday afternoon, I saw a completely different energy. People were starting to grow again. They were powerful again. They had that unshakable confidence again. They felt bolder. They felt more authentic. And I can say from that place right now, their business is going to start growing and they're going to serve their clients more powerfully. So we've sent you the workbooks. We're here to help you. That's what we're going to be talking about for the rest of the year, getting you guys into it. The workbooks are set up in a way that all you have to do is just read it and follow it. That's all you have to do. Just read it and follow it. Any questions or whenever you get stuck or anything like that, that's what we're here for in coaching. We're going to take you through a vision exercise. That'll get you super fired up as well. We'll do that. Jenny's going to do that in 3 weeks on Motivation Monday. That's all I have today. That was the entire event, guys. Taking people from a stagnant mindset to growth again. It was unbelievable, but even for if you weren't there, I want to make sure that everybody can get excited and inspired and growing again right now. The business is there. There are people that need your help. You can live an amazing, inspired life in this business. It's happening right now. I promise you, I see it every day. Our goal and our job essentially is to make sure that each and every one of you guys get that as well. So with that being said, does anybody want to say anything or add anything to that? Was there any other takeaway? Was there anybody that didn't go that wants some clarification on that? It was pretty simple, guys, in terms of an event. Like it wasn't, we were really focused and it was just one thing, everybody growing again by the end. And it literally from the chair that I felt that I sat in, I went to bed on Tuesday and I was like, my God. I was like, I got a job in front of me in the next 2 days. And I left on Thursday. Well, it wasn't even that. Honestly, by the time I got into the room at like 12:30 on Thursday, the energy had already shifted. And we had just did the exercises, guys, that are in that workbook. So is there anybody that's at home right now that didn't go that's like, man, I am stagnant and I don't believe you at all. There is no way I'm going to be able to get myself into a growth mode. Anybody want to have anybody feeling that? Is everybody that didn't go feeling like that they can do that they can get themselves back into a growth mode, that you can get excited about this business again, that you can tell better stories again? Kit?
I had a point of clarification of just many of the times of just executing it this morning. You had mentioned writing out your vision.
Yeah.
And then Jenny was like, no, you can do think up and just listen to your vision. Um, the curious question is there a scientific better way of which it comes across and it is more impactful for you? Or is it
Yeah.
six in one, half dozen the other?
Yes, the answer is do both.
Okay.
So I think that's probably what, I don't know, I'm not gonna speak for Jenny, but that's what I meant is you want to write it out. There is absolutely scientific research that says by the act of writing it out. That's what I did for the last 2 months. Writing
Okay.
it out. It was fascinating too, because then you also have this record that I can look back on mine and be like, wow, that mine grew and changed and I got so much more powerful over those 2 months. You see such an amazing amount of growth when you write it out. And there's a lot of scientific research there. Now, Think Up is something that I put on, and then I'm asking you guys to just put on after I do that. And then I'm listening to it for the next 30 minutes. So this morning I wrote it out and then I took a walk for 30 minutes listening to Think Up. And then I'm saying whatever I'm hearing myself saying on Think Up, I'm saying again. So now you're imprinting it in your mind, which there's tons of research on that too. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Thank
And
you.
And I appreciate you bringing that up, guys. And this is what we want to help you out in coaching now too, is like I lead this thing and I do this thing. And even this morning I woke up and I was like, what am I doing again? What's my, like me even, but it got me fully focused again by within 30 minutes. And I was like, boom, back on, bam, 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 bam. It is a process. It is something to do. And I don't think it takes that long, but the book for you guys too, it's set up, it's in a 4 month, it's a 4 month workbook. Use it as a journal, use it to write things down. Just use that book for 4 months. And I can tell you within 4 months, so two more to the end of the year, the first 2 months of the year, if you do that, you're going to have an outstanding 2025. That's the truth. When you're about to get inundated with all these people talking about how to have their best year and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and buy their little new trinket or whatever. This is the science. This is the research is get your mind right. Might take 4 months, but your mind will be right by March 1st. And you're right in tune for the spring season next year. And then do the activities, do them every month, do them every week. You won't feel like doing them, especially in the beginning. Make yourself do the activities. You guys are going to have an amazing year. You'll be in momentum even when the new year starts. And then you'll keep learning and growing and improving right then too. And you'll have an amazing year. Who else has anything?
I'd love to share two things
Yeah.
that are stirring up in me. So one, Kip, thank you for asking that question the way that you did. I want to share a success. Kevin's not on here because he's playing golf right now, but I want to share something that happened to him on Friday. So he had a big breakthrough on Thursday. He got really clear for the first time on what is going to drive him to do
Mm,
the work. And he came to me on Friday and he had a phone call that he's been pushing off. And he came to me and was like, hey, I want to tell you something. I'm like, okay. He's like, I just had a breakthrough. I wrote my vision down this morning. I
mm,
listened to my vision and
yep.
I'm going to go make that phone call because it's taking me 2 steps closer to going and funding 2 homes in Honduras. So I'm going to go
Yep.
make that phone call so I can go and fund those homes. And that's what it's going to allow me to do. So he's writing it down every day. He even wrote it down Saturday and Sunday too. So he's writing his vision down every day and doing the activities in the workbook. And it may
Yeah.
not even take 4 months for you to see like a difference. It can happen just that quickly if you put in the work. And then the other thing that I want to tell my people, I know Jenny's doing this too, and Deryck probably, but we are going to deep dive and go even deeper and share more that happened in Inspire in our group sessions this week. So we'll fill in the blanks and fill in the pieces of what exactly is Kip doing in the morning that he just mentioned, what are the activities he's doing that he just referenced. So we're going to go deeper with those two.
That's awesome. I appreciate you saying that about Kevin, which was interesting the way you said it. You said he finally got a breakthrough on on discovering what would make him do the work.
Mm-hmm.
That's a profound thing for a lot of you guys too. So if you're stuck and you're stagnant because some people have done really well financially and they're like, dude, I don't want to go and talk to one more realtor. That's the truth, right? Or whatever it is. The workbook too, and then what we're going to be doing in coaching is help you get to a place where you're like, man, I'm motivated and I'm excited to go do the work again too. That was a big deal for a lot of people as well too. So we're going to help you through that aspect too. Jenny's going to tackle that on the next Motivation Monday. So thank you for that, Mel. Anybody else want to say anything? Say anything? Clarification? Anybody wants any help on any of this stuff too, we're here. We're overly excited about making sure that all of you guys get back into a growth mode right now. I know it's been a tough year. I know that rates were supposed to go down from September on and they didn't. And I know the blah, blah, blah. I know all the stuff, right? But I do know that people need you right now and they need your help. And I do know that if you cultivate an awesome mindset right now, you're going to start seeing opportunities, as Kevin just did. Or the opportunities are there and you're just going to go, you're going to go get them. They're there, I promise you. But if you're in a bad place or in a bad story, you either won't see it, you won't want to see it, or you definitely won't want to do it. So mindset first always. And then after that, Then we start getting into just take the action, not attached to the result. Take the action, not attached to the result. Take the action, not attached to the result. Keep taking the action, not attached to the result. Have a blast doing it. Spread your joy, spread your inspiration. A lot of people need it right now. It wasn't just everybody on Tuesday. It's like all of America's in a bad mindset. So the point is that you guys can be in an awesome mindset and go create amazing relationships from that place. Does that make sense to you guys too? Everybody's looking for somebody positive right now. Everybody. Yes, you want to say something else, Kid?
Yeah, I had another tactical question, which is
Sure.
interesting. So the 333 each morning, are you answering I won my day for yesterday in the book in that morning? Does that make sense? Or are you answering it that night? What is a tactical?
I answer it both. So everything I'm answering, I both. I answer it in the morning. So I win my day, what I can win in the morning. So for me, that's the mindset. It's doing the activities, proactive activities that move my business forward. Right. I do that before I start getting reactive. So that's my biggest discipline that I know changes everything. And then also with the health too. Like, so I took the walk this morning. I did the mindset stuff. I To be truthful, you can ask Courtney. I hadn't prepared for this at all because I was so tired after Inspire, and then I had a wedding all weekend. So I did that this morning, but that was proactive working on my business, right? So I did that before I did everything else. So check the boxes, boom, check the boxes. And then I also go back at night and then I'll journal. Remember when I was talking about rating yourself, what kind of energy you're in? It is a
Yeah.
big deal. Like if you're not in a good energy, guys, and you want to figure out how to do it, rate your energy for that day on a scale of 1 to 10, and then journal about why. So I was a 10 today, and then you can go back, look, did you get a good night's sleep the night before? Did you drink a bunch of water? What made you be a 10 today? And you can start building that in. It takes a little while, but that's why we have 4 months right now. I want you guys to all be, by the time we get to March, I want everybody to be a 10, a 9, or a 10 every day. You can do it. It's tactical. Does that make sense, everybody? It's tactical. It's not based on what's happening on the outside. Because if you make your happiness or your energy based on your kids behaving or somebody not shopping you or an appraisal coming in low, or like you'll never be happy. Does that make sense? Because it'll always be happening. Does that make sense to everybody? That's the big point I want to get across here is like I want you guys to get like your energy levels is a skill to be cultivated, and the better that you feel, the better you perform. Does that make sense? That's the first thing. But if your candidate doesn't win in 2 weeks, if you're anything that's on the outside, and then that makes you be a 3 or a 4, you've given away all your power. You're abdicating the way that your energy is to something outside, and there will always be crap on the outside. Always. You cannot control the outside, but what you can control is your own energy levels, and then you'll be creating and you'll be attracting what you want in your life too. So that's really the first thing to do, and then along with the activities too. So I talked about in Kip's hot seat, I talked about I just want to be clear with everybody. Right now, it takes conversations. You can't just sit back and like the sales machine's going to do everything, or like I just send somebody a video and that'll work. It takes conversations right now, which takes you being in green. Because you don't want to do conversations if you're not in green, right? You just want to shoot an email or do a post. Get in green, have conversations. People are like, the thing they'll remember is like, man, Kip's happy and excited. Same market, same interest rate, same everything. Kip's excited and happy. I like him. I want him talking to my clients. Does that make sense to everybody? You see how it works? My lender's all just down in the dumps and annoyed and talks about blah, 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 blah all the time. It's kind of annoying. I don't like, sending my clients to that person. I'm looking for somebody else. Kip has a conversation. They're like, well, dude, Kip is awesome. That's what people say they're awesome. They say you're awesome based on your energy. And your energy is something that's a skill. Does that make sense? It's not necessarily just who you are. That's the thing. So what I'm trying to get across is it's only a couple things and it becomes super easy. All I can tell you guys is I still do it because I'm disciplined like that, but I don't need to do it after 2.5 months. Maybe I've been doing it. It's just like, man, I put my stuff out the night before. I knew exactly what I was doing. I put the coffee maker on, boom, 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 boom. Did that, woke up, wrote out my thing, put on Think Up, made the coffee, took a 30-minute walk in the sun. Sunny this morning, which was awesome. And I'm like, bam, I'd done a lot. Then I came right back. Courtney at 9, texting her at 9. I'm like, all right, Courtney, ready? I got to do my work for Motivation Monday. Did my proactive work. She was there. She was ready. Boom, I'm done. I won my day. I won my day today. I feel great. Does that make sense? Are you guys all excited for me that I won my day and that I feel great? That's what I want for you guys. Does that make sense? It's really easy to feel good for your whole day if you've already won it relatively early. And so I've moved my business forward. Now I go do my business throughout the day. And I moved my life forward. I moved my health forward. I moved all that stuff forward. And now I go do it, but I'm in a good energy and I'm not attached. Does that make sense too? That what you're getting to is you're just doing the stuff and then you can talk to people and you're not attached to, if somebody just blows, whatever, stuff's going to happen during the day. It just does. That's just the reality. Anybody else? These were awesome.
Kip, I'm going to share what I'm doing because I'm doing it a little bit different than Deryck. So and for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, we're referencing 4 different things that we have to address and answer on a daily basis. And then there's a couple of things we're doing additionally. I'm using that guide as my accountability partner so that as I do that thing, I get to check it off. So in the morning, in my morning time, one of the things I'm doing is I get to check off. You have to first identify and define what that statement means to you. So like I want to say in my health, that means I did my mindset work and I did the gym. As long as I did that, I get to check the box. But I have to define what that means to me on a consistent basis. The second one, I went today and doing my system for my sales and marketing. Define what that means to you. Monday, this is the thing I'm committed to doing. Tuesday, this is the thing I'm committed to doing. Wednesday, this is the thing. Thursday, this is the thing. It can be the Monday through Thursday system. It should be, but some of us are doubling up because we're trying to go to a bigger growth area. And then this one was big, and Brad actually brought this to our attention. What does winning the day in my finances mean? Well, what does that mean to you? Each person has a different thing. To me, that means I did not impulse buy. That means that I can't just stop by Dunkin' Donuts and go get coffee because I didn't plan that out. That's an impulse. It means I bought something extra at Target that I shouldn't have bought. For me, winning the day in my finances is when I do not impulse buy. Jonathan Wilson said winning the day for him and his finances is he's going to Starbucks one time a week, right, Jonathan? Not however many times he's accustomed to. Brad said for him, he's committed to tracking his spending. So you see, this is different for each one of us, but it's important for you to define what does checking that box mean for you? And can you consistently create that habit? And then the last one is I want to say in my mindset, that's going to possibly mean something different for each of you too. So you need to define what that statement means to you before you start checking the boxes. So Kip, my answer is in the morning, I sit down, I'm like, okay, what can I do? And then the moment I get to check that box, guess what I'm doing? I'm checking the box because it gives me a dopamine hit. And then my goal at the end of the day is to have all of the boxes done and the extra 3 things that Deryck is having us do. And if I don't, I have to sit with myself and ask myself why. What was it that got in the way that didn't allow me to do the thing? From a place of curiosity, no judgment. And then my goal the next day is to be a little bit better. So hopefully that helps. So I'm doing a little bit differently in mine.
Anybody else? Anybody that didn't go, or does this make sense? Rich, does this make sense? Super sorry, man, that you couldn't make it.
No, I was going to say that I did want to say thank you to you and Melanie for the support and not being able to make it, and, saying it in front of my DC family, I really felt like it, a family aspect. And it was today I was very much looking forward to seeing everybody and hopping on the Monday motivation,
Awesome.
because, I was very much excited and looking forward to going,
Yeah, no.
that last second, but again, the support from you and Melanie, was, tremendous, and really helped me get closer to green, and really excited about today. So I'm excited for tomorrow. And definitely, I've already told Melanie, and reinventing myself. I'm excited about that. So, thank you to the both.
We're all in to help. If you weren't there, we're all in to help you and Rich and anybody that wasn't there too. It's as I said, we didn't do anything that's outside of the workbook. It was just that we got to do the workbook over 2 days. And then I know it because I've done the workbook before and I've taught it a lot, but it really was amazing to see by 12:30 on Thursday. It was under 48 hours that people had literally shifted so much. It was amazing to see. So I can promise you that if you just do it, you keep doing it, and you keep working it, and you keep doing it, and you keep working it, and keep doing it, that everybody can have a really, really, really good 2025. And you can have fun again. It's not fun to be telling stories that suck. It's just not. Like there's no fun in that. It's much better to tell a story, a true story. I'm all about telling the truth. That's why I show those graphs so much, Kimmy, because I want people to know that I'm not just making stuff up, right? That I'm like, Deryck's just making it up. The application volume's the same as in 2018. No, these are NBA numbers. They're not Deryck making up things. But I know from just being a coach that it's so easy to buy into somebody else's story. So I want to make sure that you guys are always telling the story. There's enough business for everyone to be successful. And if your goal is to help 100 families next year, it's 8 families a month. And I can tell you there's 8 families in your month that are praying to find somebody like you. That's scary doing a mortgage during this time. They're praying for you. And that's why the most important thing to have is there's 8 people a month that need my help, and it's my job to go find them. That'll put you always into a better action. That'll get you into a mindset. There's 8 people a month that need my help, and it's my job to go find them. If that's what your vision is, if that's what the goal is. Anybody else? It was so funny by the end. I went to dinner with Brad and Larry after that. And even Brad sitting there at dinner being like, oh my God, you're right. Like there's people that need like cash outs right now. I had just gotten thinking everybody had a 2.875. What's the point in calling a database? And I'm like, I know, right? It's easy to get those bad mindsets. I know. Right. But then he had found one relatively quickly. So that's what I mean is like you actually cannot see things, or you will not take action if you do not have a good, proper mindset. But the minute that you do, then you're like, okay, I'm going to check in with those people, because even if they have a 2.875, maybe they need a cash out. Maybe they have kids that are buying. Maybe they know somebody, which is what happens a lot when they hear somebody in the next week or two. They'll be like, oh my gosh, you just called me. You should call this guy. That's why you're in action. But if you're telling the story, everybody's got a 2.875, they don't want to hear from me, then you won't get the business. Does that make sense? It's fascinating stuff right now. Awesome. Anybody else want to say anything? We good? Everybody good? All right. We're going to put in all the habits of the rest of 2024, and you guys are all going to have amazing 2025s. Good? We clear? Awesome. See you guys.